we make our own ethics? In a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I actually believe that everyone should make their own ethics.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
We had that discussion already about moral relativism, and we determined that you're not a relativist because you believe in a universal principle of consent.
I believe in some universal principles, but...
So then people can't make their own ethics because they have to follow that universal principle, so...
No, but the universal principle isn't... The universal principle is actually a socially derived concept, which is to say that people arrive at universal principles through social cooperation.
But not everyone in every part of the world has arrived at this principle of consent, which you believe to be universal.
Right, but the reasons they haven't arrived there are insulating factors that prevent them from achieving that full collaboration. Right?
That's not true. That's really overly idealistic.
There's isolation, there's capitalism, there's nationalism, there's racism, there's many of these insulating factors.
Religion, which isn't going to go away.
Religion, exactly.
But that's not going to go away.
Consent is a social concept.
So you don't think that that rape is wrong in communities that have no concept of consent?
No, it's still wrong.
If it's still wrong, why is it wrong?
It's wrong because the rapists probably outnumber the victims of rape in that case, and essentially they're running the social...
That's actually not true. If you look at this book, you have one person and 1,000 victims.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in a country like Afghanistan, for example, where, again, these insulating factors, a man raping a woman if she is his wife is considered legal, for example.
Yeah, but if everyone makes their own ethics, like you just said, then you can't criticize them.
No, the idea of everyone making their own ethics is actually a good one because you actually have a genuine free market of ideas. Any idea put forth can be treated with equal regard as any other idea, and the best ideas emerge because they work the best, and that's how it works.
But you're saying that everyone can make their own ethics.
Yes.
So if my ethical system says that slavery is okay, then I can have a slave.
Well, no, because the slaves are not going to allow you to enslave them.
It's not about you coerce people.
Yes, but again...
And so then you're saying coercion is wrong, and that's a universal principle.
No, coercion is wrong because coercion can only be deemed as wrong, not from above. Philosophers saying coercion is wrong. The way coercion is overthrown is through popular struggle and resistance. It's a social thing.
So before coercion is overthrown, it's moral, but after it's overthrown, it's not moral?
Essentially, yes. The way that ethics progresses is through struggle, through class struggle, I would argue, and that's the way it is.
So slavery was okay until emancipation.
No, what we're saying is actually the same thing.
No, we're not. Absolutely not.
Okay, so I support, for example, slaves as their right to resist slavery by any means necessary.
But you also support the autonomy of the slave owners to hold slaves because they're making their own ethics.
I suppose. I mean, I personally...
That's what you're saying.
I do not, because what they're doing is being coercive and not allowing... Here's the deal. If your system of ethics violates someone else's system of ethics, then yes. Then I think that's a bad thing.
So you just made a universal principle, so it's not relative.
Well, is that a universal principle?
That is a principle. That's the harm principle. That's John Mill's harm principle. You should have the maximum amount of liberty with like liberty for all, so no one's freedom can impinge upon another person's freedom. That's a universal moral philosophical principle that you are applying, and if you apply any universal moral principles, then you cannot call yourself a moral relativist.
Okay, so... I mean, that's one... I mean, okay, I don't necessarily disagree with that.